My name is Louis Lee from All Ends Media, and I'd like to welcome everybody to Plan and Traffic. This is what we do every Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And I got the fellas and the misses on screen. So we talk about cars, boats, trucks, gas, anything you put gas in, we talk about it. We got some people in the chat room. And if anybody's on YouTube, please like, share, and hit the little bell so you can get notified when we go live. And we're going to do a lot of live stuff this summer, I hope, if some car shows pop up. And so we'll be able to go live from the car shows. So please like, share, and subscribe. And we are live on Twitch as well. So what's up, peoples? We got Papa Squirrel in the chat room. We got Jim in the chat room. So what's going on, guys? What's good in the car industry?
Same old.
We got just the next 6 weeks are usually the toughest, but we're just hanging on and moving forward. So
yeah,
that's my end. So
we got Mr. Ray in the house. What's up, Ray?
Hey, fellas. Good to see you.
What's going on, Ray?
So, Arco, what were you guys doing in the yard? You were moving some cars around?
Well, if you can hear us, if it's not all screwed up right now, we're taking the body off road tonight, or taking the body off the frame. You know.
Okay. How did you guys make out?
Oh, we did good. We got it on the. I built a dolly last week, so we have a dolly to roll around the shop. Kind of a. I'm gonna call it a body dolly, because I put it in the body shop. That way, when I want to do the rest of the body work stuff on the car, I can mess around with it over there, and it's got big wheels on it. I can just roll it right across the street to our body shop.
Oh, nice.
Those come in handy.
Yeah, and it worked out real good.
I had a couple of them when I had the chassis shop. We would send all the cars over to paint on the dolly. So
I'm kind of excited. I'm excited to get my body off now that we can start working on the frame and stuff, putting the airbags in and the new motor and transmission, and get the paint work done and whatever.
That's nice to be able to work on a car that's a full frame car, where you can take the body off, because you could do so much work. You could do the whole exhaust system. You could do a lot of pre-plumbing, brake lines, things like that. You can't do that on a unibody car.
Yeah. You know, more and more I'm thinking about it, I might do that to the Cadillac. I might just take it off and just work my way from the tires up.
You do all of that fabricating, and then you find somebody that's got a big oven, and you send your chassis out and get it powder coated, and then it comes back, and you put all that jewelry on it, and then you drop the body down. You know, like an episode you see on TV.
Yeah.
You know, when they use the lift and they drop the body into place. I mean, that's fun. That's fun car building.
Well, I'll be doing it with trees on the side of the garage.
There you go. Build yourself one of those A-frames on wheels.
Yeah.
You know,
I can see my neighbors now, like, what is that guy doing over there?
Don't speak too bad about those unibodies, John. You got 2 of them.
Oh my God! Tell me about it. I know. We were just talking about that before you came on.
Yeah.
I'm kicking my body guy to the curb.
Yeah.
Well, because every month or so, it's another excuse. You know, I even went and paid a visit 2 weeks ago, and he had a beautiful 71 Chevelle. Remember that insane gold General Motors used to use on the 70s, 70, 71, 72. It was a slightly metallic.
Yeah.
It was a hit. The car got hit in the rear, man, and that is a tough color to match.
Uh-huh.
And you know, he matched it. He told me, look, as soon as this car's done, you're in. Well, that car was done last week and delivered. See you later, bye. And then he's making posts on Facebook about doing a fuel injection system on some guy's Jeep. And I'm like, you know what? And I've sent them messages, and so I'm done. I'm going to do it myself.
You did say he was going through some family stuff.
He's going through family stuff, but he's posting every day of what he's doing.
Yeah, that's contradictory, right?
Yeah, I mean, if the family stuff was taken over, the Facebook would be dead.
You would think, yeah.
You know, so
Hey, snow took over, and I stopped posting on everywhere. It's like I didn't have the damn no volition, no time. Who gives a damn? You know.
yeah.
So what, about 30 inches, Ray?
Oh yeah, about 45. I think it increased.
That's insane.
Wow.
I got a solid between a solid foot to 15. The problem is here where I am in Nassau, we had a lot of high winds, so there was a lot of drifting. So it's hard to measure the drift. My buddy who's out in Oakdale, he had no wind and he had just like a solid 16 to 18 inches. So it was pretty uniform across the island. It was a wallop.
Yeah.
I was going to send you today. I must have had 9 of your trucks, your little Toyotas around me.
Really?
Every time I turn around, man, they are everywhere, man. You got to come down here, man.
Well, I tell you something. Find somebody to buy my Mazda, and I'll put the damn thing on the road. It went through the shop. It was detailed. The PDR guy went through it. It is ready to go. I'm having separation anxiety from my car. You know? And I guess once I sell it, I won't have a choice. Then I'm good to go.
When I told you I saw that all blue one, today I saw an all white one.
Yeah.
It was all white. I had 2 yellows, a blue, and a silver one, and a white one.
The white one they call iceberg.
Iceberg, yeah. Man, those things I never realized they are everywhere down here. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's like anything. You don't notice it until until it enters your realm, and then they're everywhere.
Exactly. I noticed that with each new vehicle I buy.
Sure.
All of a sudden, they're everywhere.
Right.
Before I owned a GMC pickup, I don't think I ever paid any attention to GMC pickups.
Right.
Now they're everywhere.
Yeah, you see it. That's all you see.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's very strange the way the mind works.
We just did that a couple of years ago with this little orange car that we saw. We were looking at this really pretty orange color that was on it, and then all of a sudden it was everywhere. We seen it orange on everything. We were like,
and then this guy brings us this car to paint. He's like, "Oh, I want to paint it orange," and we're like, "Oh dear!" And then we open it up, and it's
that
same orange.
Some oranges are really, really cool. Like Hugger orange. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is that metallic kind of burnt orange color.
Okay.
It's that Chevy color.
it's a beautiful color.
I kind of like those shades.
I don't like it, but I can appreciate it. I can appreciate it in a lot of different ways.
Okay,
I like
because
that.
you were going to get in trouble, Heidi, because my motorcycle's burnt orange.
Yeah.
Right. It's just not my color. That's just it. Like my car, when I finally get my car, it's going to be satin purple, like the purple Monster can.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
And that's nobody's color. Sorry. That's like, okay. So that's pretty.
Yeah, that's that same orange we were just talking about. So.
Yeah. And I saw it on a pickup that I really liked it. And then it was like a little like Chevy Cobalt kind of a car.
Yeah.
And then I liked it on that. But I also saw it on a Suburban. It was like, that's way too much.
That's a beautiful bike, Lewis.
Oh, thank you. I redid the whole thing, man. It was a project.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, a lot of fiberglass work. Wait, here we go. Let's see.
So
that's before and after. Wait a minute.
There you go.
Oh wow!
Oh, you completely redid did that thing.
No kidding. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, I took it down. I took it down to almost to the frame. I'm going to redo it. It's been 3 years, so I think I'm going to redo it. I'm going to take it apart again.
Yeah. Yeah, he wants to do his, and I'm fighting him all the way because I love it, and he's just like, he's over it, so he'll get his way.
Well, it's kind of a long story.
Well, I'm gonna do engraving on the Cadillac, so I'm gonna practice on the bike. So I'm gonna take some stuff off on the bike and engrave it.
Yeah, because the little parts on the bike are a lot cheaper than the big parts on the Cadillac to replace.
Yeah.
I got a couple Cadillacs. They're handy carrying cases for $429.
Hey, send me the information because I got a lot of guys over here. They're Cadillac heads.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Two of them.
Send me the
67 Eldorados.
Yeah.
Yeah.
67.
And I've been talking to my buddy Sid. I've been talking to him about that Cadillac I was telling you about too. So trying to get that all worked out.
Yeah, let me know, man, because like you scared me when you said I'll be chasing dents on that roof. I was like, yeah.
That's a lot of sheet metal on that roof.
Yeah.
Yeah. No kidding.
That's
huge.
That's like dining room table large.
Yeah, no kidding. But it was a tree fell on it. Is that what happened to it?
I'm not sure. It was like that when I bought it, and that's what it looks like. It looks like a tree fell on because it's like smashed in a couple different spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about a roadster?
I did think about it. I thought about it.
You cut that off that big old tuna boat will fold in half.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah,
See, and I'm gonna go with airbags and stuff on it too. I'm gonna go with aggressive airbags so I can jump it a little bit.
Yeah.
So I gotta have a roof.
That'll be cool.
Twist it up real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a compound curve roof.
Yeah.
That's a lot of heating and shrinking and stretching and compressing. And forget about it.
Yeah. And
that's a career to try and get one of those things straight.
And see, I'm not a metal guy, so I'll be learning. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, so.
Yeah, and that's kind of a tricky thing to learn on. You know, such a span of steel to try to make straight.
The other thing is the fact of you're not going to be able to get to the bottom side of that outer skin because they got double roof.
Yeah.
Right.
And
back then, you still had the headliners with the bows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a double steel roof. So you can't even access the inside when you got to start doing some like shrinking or back hammer dollying and stuff.
Yeah, I was looking at it the other day.
There's no way to put a stud gun on it to pull that stuff out either, because you'll pull it out, but then you'll have no way to hammer it back down if you get a high spot or whatever. So
that's a problem.
You gotta learn how to use a.
Can you buy just the whole skin for those for the roof?
No, that year from 77 to 79, they don't hardly make anything. Any parts. Because it's not popular yet. Maybe in the next 10 years it might be, you know what I mean? But like anything from like 76 down, I can get all kind of stuff.
You know what you need to do through Ray, because he's got Steve Magnante's contact. He did one of his shows at a junkyard that's nothing but Cadillac.
He did 2 of them at the Caddy Ranch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be
You
sweet.
need to find out. Maybe you could buy a roof panel from that place.
Well, Arco found me one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we found one in Texas at my buddy's. He's got a friend of his that works at the high school, and they have one that the kids were practicing on and stuff, and the whole car's complete. You know, so there's some beat up panels on it, but I asked him about the roof and the glass and all that, and everything's there. And then that trim you're looking for around the back windows and all that crap is on there. You know.
Oh, nice.
And the price is right, so we just got to figure out how to get it moved, you know?
Yeah. It's a lot easier to work a roof when you're, near the seams instead of working in the middle of the panel.
Oh, yeah.
So,
And just to back your thought up, John, I did pass Steve's info on to Lewis, and he asked him to come on to the show here on the Thursday night show. So,
oh God, he would be the best here.
We may be talking about. He wants to show off the model, so we may be talking about it in person, which would be great.
Yeah, I'm going to get a hold of him over the weekend and set him up for, let's see, not the 11th, because we have, who do we have coming on the 11th?
Somebody. There is somebody. You mentioned
it's your show. You're asking us, but it's your show.
I'll pick somebody.
Hey, I just had COVID. I'm not back to 100% yet.
We gotta start taking notes, guys. Everybody's got to take a note so we can help.
Everybody, we're in class now. Huh?
We'll just go down to the bar and set up. We'll just have people like cycle through. like Donnie Oler King. He'd be awesome. He's a character. We have a lot of cool characters around here. Yeah, small towns, they do that.
Yeah, you could do a full 24/7 podcast right here in Big Falls.
Oh, absolutely.
With all the weirdos.
They're not all weird.
Oh, yes, they are.
They're all my family.
See what I mean?
Mine too.
I love it. I love my people. Like, you wouldn't believe. They're so much fun. Can you imagine Rod
Who?
Rod Fogner.
Oh yeah.
He'd be so much fun. When he gets drunk, he changes his name to Larry and forgets what he's doing.
He changed his name. So it's Gene Winfield. He'll be on next week. Gene Winfield.
Gene will?
Oh, Gene Winfield.
Yeah, he'll be on.
Oh, that's
Are you
right. I
serious?
forgot you announced that.
Oh
Yeah,
my
That'd be
goodness.
awesome.
Oh man. I
talking
will be
royalty.
here.
I'll be at a basketball game.
When you put that out on
Yeah.
Facebook, you need to make sure you can share because I couldn't share the other one.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
that I can get that out because I had a couple guys, I guess a couple of my customers came in last week or the week before or something. But if I start, like I said, try to get those numbers pumped up.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Louis, I think
Right.
between this show and in my show, like we're killing it with the guests lately. It's
Yeah.
like, talk about being on a roll, man.
Yeah.
Right?
I got a lot of people that want to come on, but it's just their schedules are all messed up.
Yeah. It's
Or
try
yeah.
book a show. Yeah, try to book someone on a Sunday. See how that works out for you.
well, that's what I was thinking. I'm gonna start booking stuff on different days and just really advertise it the week before.
Yeah.
You know.
Where you could work with their schedule, you mean?
I
Yeah.
think that's a
Yeah.
really good idea.
Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do.
know, And we could do here what I could do on Sunday too. We could always do the show off air, record it, and play it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's possible. But I like working live. I like doing it live.
Yeah.
That way when we screw up, everybody sees it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, yeah, the whole world
We were
knows.
lifting the car up today. I so wanted to be live.
There's no superstars in this group. It's like just it is what it is, man. If you don't like it, change the channel.
Right.
I say that all the time.
Yeah.
I
So
think,
back-
yeah,
So back to the trim on my window, in the back window. I was talking to Dave Kingdig,
Yeah.
and he was telling me that they don't mess with the trim no more. They'll snatch it off, throw it in the garbage.
Huh.
But they got a new CNC machine. No, is it CNC? Yeah, I think it is. But he says he has a gun that he can point at the car and point it at certain. He scans the back window,
Right.
and the machine will make his trim piece for him. So he makes all his trim now. He
So
don't even
it's
play around.
like a 3D printer?
no, it'd be like it would be metal.
Yeah, it's metal. I'm pretty sure it's a CNC machine, but
Probably
the
aluminum.
scanner, whatever he scans, goes on the computer, and then he ships it over to
Right.
the machine, and it'll cut out his part.
That's
That
like
would be
the
sweet.
guys that I met that are here in my town that build. They build all the bodies for the monster trucks,
Mm.
Yeah.
and they have that scanning system.
Yeah.
And before I found out that I could buy a Firebird dashboard in fiberglass, I was going to have them do it. And he was showing me how they take this gun and they run it over the part. And the more times you run it over the same piece, the more data points it
Yeah.
gets. It just goes into a laptop. And then what he does is they'll roll that 3D model on the screen. And if they got to make any kind of modifications, kind of stretch something, shrink it, move something around, they could do that with the mouse. And then they finalize it. And then he sends that program to his CNC machine. And he loads in a block of styrofoam. And this 5-axis mill cuts away everything but the actual part. So now he's got a styrofoam, let's say, dashboard.
Mold.
Right.
Yeah.
And they use that to make the mold for the fiberglass. So you're
Right.
not destroying an original piece.
So that's the buck, and they just put the fiberglass right over the top of that, and then
They
pull
put the fiberglass
out.
over that and make the mold, and then
Yeah.
they start banging out parts.
Man, I'd hate to be the guy to bring the dumpster for all that styrofoam.
But no, listen. The styrofoam, they got this chemical that you pour into
Yeah.
the mold, and it eats out the. It eats
Oh,
out
okay,
the,
yeah. Yep. Well, that makes sense, yeah.
One of our friends decided to. What was the grill that Gene made?
36 Chevy.
Yeah, he just randomly was like, I think I'm gonna make this.
Well, he's actually he's very famous. He's a knife maker in Minnesota. His name's Gene Shadley.
Yeah, he's
And,
in the knife maker's guild. He's
and
really
he's just an amazing
great
knife
guy.
maker.
Yeah.
He came to our shop and he told me one day, the other night I was bored, so I made this grill shell out of the other grill shell I had. And it was like flawless, perfect. And I'm like, you did this in like a couple nights? And it was just like, man.
Yeah, it blew. It kind of just made us go, wow.
The guy's always building stuff like that, though, where it just blows you away, you know?
Yeah, but then he's terrified of metalworking, like what we do. You taught him how to build a door skin.
It was a skirt deals for the side of his car.
Oh right, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I built the left side, and then I handed him the panel and the English wheel and everything.
The
and I'm
guy
like, here.
makes $30,000 knives, and he's like, oh. Okay.
It could be intimidating.
Well, I guess it's just a different medium. It really is. That whatever your medium is, you're confident in it. When you're outside your box, it's a little harder.
But he makes like your little tiny pocket knives you carry in your pocket, like your jackknives in your pocket. He sells those. Some of those he sells for $30,000. Wow. Yeah, he's world famous. Yeah.
I can't remember if it was that one or the other ones, but they're
business.
I know, right? But he's meticulous. He's a really great guy. Yeah.
My thought is, where's that guy that spends that kind of money? I never find those guys.
You know what? They're they're like mother of pearl and stuff like that. So I wonder if they aren't like corporate gifts and stuff.
Oh, might be.
Like, that type of like here's your severance package and your $30,000. Goodbye.
Not me.
Where's that company? I like to work for that company.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind working there either.
I was gonna say the guys who they don't get that. They take your pot smoking elsewhere. That's what they get.
That's true.
No, it's been a while. I haven't had to do that in a long time.
We haven't fired anybody in a while.
It's because it's just the two of us. I fired him a couple times, but he won't listen. Jerk.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to make my grill on the caddy because I'm gonna cut the center of the bumper out. Arco, I sent you the picture of what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna go all the way down, so stretch the grill and everything. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do inside there. I'm looking at your grill right now, and what material is that?
Mine?
It's like, they use it in wells. They use it all over the place, but a lot of times you'll see it when you walk into a hospital, and if you look on the ground where they have the air blowing up.
Yeah.
That's the stainless steel grate that sits on the hospital. Deals.
Yeah. So my uncle comes to our shop one day, and he's got this big square piece of this stuff, and he goes, "I thought you guys might find use for this."
Okay, I see it now that you said it. I'm looking at it, I'm like, what is that?
And then we're gonna powder coat it black, so you can't really tell, but when you're up close, you'll be able to see the grate.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But it was pretty cool because I measured out the grill, and I just had enough for that shape. And I grabbed the grinder and cut off wheels and just start cutting, and she's over in the corner about ready to throw up. She's
like, we got one shot, fella, one shot. And because we built this whole car in the rat rod style. It's not a rat rod, but everything has come out of our backyard.
Or made out of
stuff, or
stuff
flat
that we
sheet
had laying
metal,
around.
or
like the frame is a '77 Oldsmobile. It's a the chassis '77 Oldsmobile. And then the grill shell I made out of the tops of two 2003 Chevy truck doors. So where the glass to, yeah. Yep. So you got the left side and the right side of the grill. That's the tops of a Chevy truck door.
Nice.
I see it.
I can see it now.
Yeah.
And then, obviously the windshield, and then the dash. That's the windshield out of the. We chopped it how much? Like 3 inches.
Yeah.
Out of the Studebaker Champion, that 48 that we are licensing it as. And
then other than the windshield, the whole car is
handmade.
So
the dash, the grill.
The dash is the 48 Studebaker grill
flipped,
and it's flipped around and put in the car for a dashboard. So
because I'm a wackadoodle and I like things weird.
Hey, you know what? That's where it comes custom.
But that's the thing. Like we wanted to really challenge ourselves and not like have a whole bunch of new stuff. So we don't.
No.
Crazy. But that's what that is that great stuff that you walk on almost anytime you go into a hospital or a store that's got the air blowing up.
Though, because when I worked in California, I know what that stuff cost to buy for a sheet.
Yeah.
Like a 4x8 sheet was 10 grand. So,
Really?
yeah. And it's heavy.
Oh, it's hella heavy.
Very heavy.
It's
not light.
inch and a half inch stainless, slats.
Yeah.
And the piece that her uncle brought us was brand new, so I was all like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun."
Well, and that's the other thing is we're still kind of. He wants to cut it and bend it, and I want to leave it flat and sink it. So we'll probably just arm wrestle over that.
Bend it and sink it.
Bend it. And, yeah. Well, it does have to. It does have to be sunk inside, and he wants to follow the line. He's probably right, but don't tell him I said that.
So just having that slight bend in it, it gives you
I'm
a peak
terrified.
down the middle, and it gives it that aerodynamic look. It'll look like you got way more work into it, If
well, I about died the day he was cutting it. I'm just gonna go like on vacation when he wants to bend it.
Yeah.
And we have that big 20-ton press. I'm gonna just build a jig for it, and I'm gonna stick it in that press and just press it.
I think it would cup it control. It's hairy. Yeah, today I wasn't too bad because we were using that what is the big crane thing? Whatever that is.
We have a gantry, a big gantry in the top of our shop with a chain hoist, and we lifted the whole car body off today and then put it on the dolly.
Yeah, and and everybody keeps saying, "Oh, you should have an electric one." Like I have seen an electric one stop with a Peterbilt engine.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
And I've seen the air ones break.
Yeah.
Parts fall out.
I trust the manual. We'll just move it with the chain. We'll go.
That's what we had. I had a guy, a customer of mine. Him and his dad worked. They had a shop. And they were like world-renowned cast iron welding guys.
Wow.
So they would get work from all around the world. They would get these cast iron motors from Europe that you can't get them anymore. And these guys would repair these blocks and these heads. And years ago, they took two 350 Chevys and machined them and put them together. And made a V16 small block Chevy. They built their own distributor with 16 posts on it. They had a custom camshaft made by I think it was Crane Cams made the cam for them.
Wow.
And they actually built these V16 Chevys for quite a few years. They made a couple of hundred of them.
Wow.
And, so he needed a chassis for this car that they were doing. And we cut a deal, and he built me a chassis table to my specs. And then he built us, we called it Boomzilla. It was this big, giant boom arm that was attached to one of the I-beams that supported the roof at the race car shop. And he had these giant industrial hinges that he put it on, and a truss mechanism. And it was like a 14-inch I-beam. This thing was huge.
Wow.
And so we had a manual chain deal on it, and it was situated so that it could service both of the chassis tables. So if we had a car that got wrecked at the racetrack, we could sling it on the floor, lift it up, and then boom it over to the chassis table to set it down. And we used to use this thing to take the new cars that we built off. And you pull the chain, and it was so simple.
Yeah,
it was a trolley with a chain, and you just keep pulling the chain. It was up and
less
down.
Things to go wrong, and
less things to go wrong. Yeah,
I remember
literally like one guy could move a 3,000-pound car on and off a chassis table by himself.
I built a 4-corner chain hoist lift in my 2-car garage to do a body off frame swap on my daily driver with 4 chain hoists.
To build something like that in my new shop.
And a bunch of 2x6s.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
get plans for that.
How it worked? I assume everything's okay.
You're still alive.
Yeah. So the shop that we have, I grew up in at different times because my dad worked for the company that had it before us. on occasion, like some summers when he wasn't hauling wood and stuff. And I will never forget seeing, and it wasn't in this shop, it was somebody else's shop, and they had an electric one, and where the thing comes down, they're pushing the button and they're raising the Peterbilt engine, and everybody's talking. All of a sudden, it's like, and then the scramble. I mean, everybody's scrambling. I got drug out of there, and I had to watch from however many feet away, because otherwise nobody was even paying attention. But boy, when that thing stopped, everybody was paying attention. It was scary. And you know what they rescued it with? A manual one. I was like, at that point, my little girl brain went, yeah, we're never going to do that.
When we bought that shop, there's this truss, it's got like 5 trusses going right through the middle of the place. Beautiful old iron trusses and everything. Looks like something on a bridge or whatever. And there's these big ass trusses, and one of them is just bent to hell. And I was in there asking Aaron about it. The guy that we bought it from, I was asking him about it one day, and he said that one of the guys came in there and they had the what the hell would you call it?
A loader truck.
A loader truck.
A boom truck.
Ran into it with the boom.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
The truss. That shook that whole building about off its foundation.
That's probably what bent the building.
Yeah, probably.
When we had spray foam insulation put in our building went like.
Yeah, it re-racked the whole building. That stuff was
really.
Yeah.
You can put your arm through our door, our entry door. Like you could put and now you can't because it racked it back to where it's supposed to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it was cool because I was in there with Tom when he was doing the installation, and I was saying it's all racked real bad in this corner, and he goes, "Oh, we'll take care of that." And he looks around for a minute, and then he sprays in a certain spot, and the whole building, I swear, just went whoop. It moved like 4 inches, and you could watch it move. And he goes, "Now look at it." And I'm looking, and I'm like, "Wow, you can't even put your arm or your fingers through the door now." It moved it out.
Yeah,
it was a trip.
It's pretty crazy stuff. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it or worked with it, but
yeah, I worked with it a little bit. I have outside the house. There's this like 3-sided chase that goes over your air conditioning lines from the compressor. They go up the side of the house and then in, to the attic. And I had a problem with a squirrel would run up that thing and then made a nest up in the ceiling of my garage. And I would hear this thing, like making noise and running around. And then I found out it was like that was his exit up and down, because there's that insulation on the piping for the air conditioner. So he could grab that with his claws and go up and then go down. So I went and got a can of that spray foam and I sprayed it up inside there, and it expanded so much it blew the cover off. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I had to reach up inside there when it all got hard, like the next day, and pull it out, and then just like squirt a little bit and come back an hour later a little bit more.
Hey, John loved the spray foam so much he painted his whole truck with it.
Painted my whole truck with it, yeah. Don't even go there.
We got it. One of our first jobs. We just picked up this truck for like $200, and we decided we just do some quick metal work on it. Spray it.
It was all rotted out, rusted out. Yeah.
Well, he's starting to pull things out of this rotted cab corner. And what else did you get? You got
and
cardboard?
I'm pulling cardboard and like
dirt
and rocks and all this crap out, and styrofoam
and spray foam.
And then all of a sudden I'm like tink tink tink, and I'm looking at this thing, and I start scraping the foam off about 3 feet, and it's a 2x4 shoved up in there. And that's how they built the rockers on this Ford truck. It actually looked pretty damn good.
Yeah, from the outside you couldn't tell.
Back when I worked at the dealer on the 964s, the A-pillars came up, and they had this machine that they weren't welded, but it was like 9 layers of metal that were crunched together, and that held the roof on. And over a period of time, the car would start to squeak. So, you got this $60,000 car, and you'd have the squeaking noise up by your ear.
Right.
So you had to pull the interior down, and they had this. Before they made the tool, that was the fix, was spray foam.
Oh,
and
wow.
You pull that thing down and you shoot some spray foam up in there, but you had to watch it because, like John, you'd have this big old lump, like a tumor growing over the headliner and so forth.
It's a tumor.
It was a mess. So the funny part was they made this tool that clamped on there, and it had a lever about, I don't know, maybe about 14, 15 inches long. And you had to hook it up on there, and then you squeezed it, you pulled it down, and that would re-crimp the metal to get the noise. Well, the first one I did, I took the A-pillar and twisted it in the car. And
so much.
So, yeah, they said, let the little guy do that. Keep the big guy away from squeezing that thing. So,
lucky the windshield didn't blow out.
Yeah, well, I tell you, man, you talk about destroying a couple of cars.
Yeah. What kind of car was that again?
Those were 964s, Porsches. They were.
Holy crap!
Yeah, they got a little scary. I said, give it to the little guy, because I get in there and just kind of lean down on that one time, and you'll see the A-pillar. I mean, the A-pillar just go, and it's like, God, it's like it ain't coming back, So.
Oh yikes! Yeah, that would be a little bit hairy, huh?
Yeah, nothing like job description of destroying a car.
Not just any car.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing on my page?
Dude, that thing is sweet.
Which one?
Oh, wait a minute.
All I see is me.
I got it
I'm
wrong.
not that one.
He's creeping on all your photos right now.
He's creeping.
Yeah, I'm
Robin's
creeping.
in a couple of them. Robin Hetzler, she's hot. We'll just let her be in them.
I got the wrong screen share. Hold on. Let's see where we at.
Be careful what screen you share.
Woo,
Right.
that's all right. It's a family page, sort of.
Sort of. Wow.
Depends on whose family you're in, I guess.
There we go.
Family strippers.
You have a family of strippers? I thought you had hookers. Jerk.
Both.
Hey, there's your Gene Winfield thingy.
Yeah.
Metal
Oh, yeah.
pipe anvil.
Yep.
Very cool. Yeah,
I
that's
bet
a
you-
baby.
That
Even
thing is sweet.
Even our wheels are from Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, yeah?
It's funny though because
Marketplace is good.
that picture looks funny because it looks like the car's like bent in a circle or something,
It is.
Yeah.
It's
So-
shit optical
so-
illusion.
So you're building this car for the that contest to go to SEMA, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Give us a little info on that.
Well, what we ended up doing is the radical build off drive off. You mind if I do this?
Go for
All
it.
right. It's the radical build off drive off. And we started January 2020, January 1, 2020. And we went to SEMA 2019 and we all met and it was great. But anyways, we started then and then we built until August. But when they canceled SEMA, we stopped because they wanted us to drive our car in November outside in Minnesota. And I was like, that's just so not happening because of all the salt.
And it was in bare metal.
And it was in bare metal.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually by then we had put the insides in bare. Yeah, we have primer, but most of it's still bare metal. Anyways, so a lot of people continued to build. Sean Puz actually finished his car, so he won the build off. He had it driving, and it's Excalibur, and that's a real good car. But he designed it, built it, flat sheet metal. He did a good job. There's a couple other cars that are nearing completion now. And then we just decided we'd crank back up in January. So he's been pretty much whole hog on this thing since.
Just jamming on it since.
But yeah, he formed forever. And ever.
4 months. It took 4 months to build the body on the car. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was like 4 months of working on it every single day,
Yeah, not like all day every day, but it
Yeah.
So
was.
how much more do you have to go? When's the build off? Or when's
So what we'll do now is in October, we'll meet in Lincoln, and we're the build off drive out that actually drives into SEMA. So everything that goes into our cars from our sponsors or whatever is road tested. So the whole group will be meeting, and then we're going to do a drive off winner.
And what's that, like 1,500 miles or something?
Yeah, from Lincoln, Nebraska to SEMA is like 1,500 miles.
That's a cool ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be
Route
fun.
66. Is that the way you're rolling, or 80?
Well, they do. I think they kind of go all over the place. I don't think they do one straight line. They there's a guy that chooses the route, and then we all guess if we follow him. Which
How long is it supposed to take? Like, how
That's
many
kind of like
days?
Hot Rod Power Tour.
yeah,
He said how many
I
days?
think
is it?
I think they run for 3 days, 3 or 4 days.
And they were
or it's
telling
like
us,
3.5 days.
They were telling us, we drive all day long. We don't even stop for nothing except for gas and whatever. And I'm like, screw that. I got to pee every 10 minutes. I'm a coffee drinker, man.
So we're like, well, we'll get you. So, they gave, there's stipulations. You have to be able to do freeway speeds. You have to have at least 200-mile range, a minimum of 200-mile range on your gas tank. And they figured this out. They've been doing this since like 2015, 2016. That there's certain things that you have to have because they've been stopped for various reasons, and they realized, well, this is kind of a safety hazard on some of this stuff. So they just make sure that everybody can kind of convoy in. And then there's always, everybody's got to have their crew that has their trailers and
there's some real crazy builds in this build off. I mean, there's some pretty radical cars.
I mean, if you look at like the builds that were there in 2019, they were really stellar. There was the ones they had from Australia and New Zealand.
New Zealand. I've seen those guys.
Yeah, that
hearse that guy did that it was like a rat rod hearse or whatever that thing was.
That thing
insane.
was nuts.
I saw it like online and stuff, and I was like, oh, that's cool. But when I got to see it at SEMA, I was like, holy crap, man! It was badass.
Yeah.
I looked at that thing for a long time.
And then the builders choose the winners, so you vote. The builders vote. Yeah, so I think that's kind of cool because y'all know what you have into it, and you watch each other drive. And we've been having Zoom calls now the whole time. We haven't in a couple months just because of the holidays and everything. So, but we talk.
We'll get back on track with them though real soon.
Yeah, but it is really fun, and there's really no rules other than you have to have a spot in SEMA and you build something radical. It's our RAT. It doesn't have to be a rat rod, but they want it radical. So we just kind of went this. We wanted to go with this big luxury, but it's built in the rat rod style, with the stuff we have.
And it worked out good for me because I've been wanting to build almost like a mix between like a Cruella DeVille car and a Bugatti and like kind of like the anti-hot rod style car. And I wanted to do something, on a big Cadillac or Oldsmobile or Buick chassis. And that's what we did. So I wanted something with airbags but at the same time, I want something fast. So Cheney Performance is doing the motor. And then Bishop's is doing the transmission. So we have all these high performance parts.
Yeah,
and stuff
they're all racers.
They build drag cars. So, and then so the motor and transmission, all that stuff, and all the undercarriage and everything. We'll have it all set up real nice on airbags. And then but we'll still have that big luxury car on top of it. And then the car itself, I wanted it to be real radical. So it's actually 45 inches tall from the ground to the top of the cars. 45 inches tall. It's 17 feet long. And then it's got a Lamborghini style doors that come up on it. It's pretty.
It will when we stop arguing about the top of the doors.
So how much luggage room is in that car?
What's that?
How much luggage room is in that car to bring your stuff with you?
If you had like a bag lunch, you'd have to take the stuff out of the bag
my purse is not even going to be able to ride with me.
That was one of the stipulations. She says, "Okay, I don't care what the car has. I need a spot for my gun." That's all she says.
And my phone.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Personal property. You keep that stuff on you. You don't have to have a place.
But sometimes I just like to set it off to the side. So on the transmission tunnel, we'll be sitting, real low. And that'll be like our armrest. And so we're going to have the guys who do our seats. It's Outlaw Upholstery. They're out of Lakeville. I'm going to have to look that up because it's been a minute. But I'm going to have them, when they upholster the seats, make me a bag for my phone, like a little. Remember back in the 70s when they had those like vinyl bags for garbage in your cars?
Yeah.
I want one sort of like that.
I had one in my El Camino.
My grandma had one. My grandma was a but yeah. But yeah, that's about what did he say?
Lady after my own heart.
Oh. But yeah, there's no luggage room. That's basically what's gonna be on the vehicle that is our crew. So, because we don't have any room. Oh, look, there's Clark.
There's your doors.
Yep.
Yeah, is that my Instagram or his Instagram?
I don't know. This is Facebook.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It says Ann.
Instagram.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I shared the wrong one again. Hold on.
There's our new T-shirts. Did you see our new T-shirts? We finally got Outlaw Edge shirts, and they say "Don't be a dumbass" on the back.
So I'm not trying to be rude, but the guy with the black and red hat, what's your name?
Tyler.
Tyler.
It's right on his shirt.
I don't have my glasses on, so I can't even see that.
My name too.
What was the Monte Carlo? What year Monte Carlo was that?
Oh, it's a 84. It's a customer's car.
Customer, yeah. Aero coupe or just regular?
Just regular. It was optioned like an SS, but it's not a true SS.
But why do you?
We're doing a 9-inch rear end from Quick Performance in it, and a Bruzy Turbo 400, and then he's getting ready for a Pro Charger next year.
Oh, that's gonna be sweet. Yeah, that's the same as like that 77 old chassis, like what we got under our car, isn't it? Same style.
G-body, yeah, I think so.
G-body.
Yep, identical.
Yeah,
Sweet.
yours 76 or 77 was the first year of that style chassis, I think.
Yeah, 70.
That should be like almost identical then.
So
Pretty much.
my grandma had a Pontiac Catalina with a 400 in it, and she used to tell her little lady friend that would drive her to doctor's appointments that, like, Aggie, I got 400 horses under this hood, and they want them all galloping at once. I was gonna handle some horsepower, and it's And she got mad at me and wouldn't let me drive her to doctor's appointments because I drove her car too slow.
That's funny.
Tyler, show them your MG that's there.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
MG?
What that was, yeah. That thing is sweet.
Oh no!
Oh, look at that.
Hell yeah.
It's
What year is that?
It's a 60 MGA.
Oh, that's so awesome.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. It belongs to a good friend of my evening employees.
Is somebody sitting in that blue car?
No.
Oh, it's just the seat. It looked like
Yeah, it's got white
Headphones.
It's got white seats.
It's just a
it looked like somebody was sitting in there.
Oh, fun. Yeah,
that's dead bodies in his car.
That's a beautiful
Hey,
car,
in
though.
that neighborhood, you could find a couple bodies.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there's how I made the grill right there, man.
That's pretty slick.
That's cool.
And of course, from the junkyard, I got Heidi picked me up from one of our sponsors in Grand Rapids. Chuck's Auto Salvage, yeah. A blue Chevy door and a silver Chevy door. So, it was so funny too because that day I was filming a video and stuff, and I sanded it all off after I got it all welded together and whatever. And when I was done sanding it, I was like wiping my face and stuff. And I watched the video. I got like handprints on my face.
You're gonna leave the color of the car half and half, blue and silver.
It'll be like the
right
Riddler
down
or
the
whatever.
middle.
Yeah,
Right down the middle.
Two-Face. That's what you're.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it was. I was laughing though because he just throws 2 doors in the back of my truck, and I'm like, thanks. It was kind of a weird situation because usually I'm paying him a lot of money when I'm in there. This time it wasn't. He lets me go crawl around his junkyard. It makes me happy. So he's a good. Yeah, we have some pretty cool sponsors too. So, what are you reading?
I was reading the thing right here. That's a cool build.
There you
Waiting for the
go.
big reveal.
Look at our pretty girl.
So right there, what I was doing is I was mocking up the body with electrical conduit and trying to get it shaped out, kind of like for my eyeballs to see what I liked. And then we have a rendering of the car that NZ Mopar did for us.
And that Anthony
Petroselli also did.
Mm-hmm.
And we took those 2 renderings and we moved them around where we wanted them. And then NZ Mopar, Glenn Ridd, redid the drawing. And then that's when we went from paper to metal.
Except for the back.
Yeah, and then we changed some of the stuff on the back of the car and got it to where we wanted it.
Yeah, made it that Batmobile looking back end that I hate, and now I love it. It's my favorite part of the car. So,
I'm trying to pull it up.
How
Thanks.
long you been working on the project so far?
When we built the body of the car, I think we have 3.5 or 4 months just into the metal fab on the body itself, trying to get the body built.
When did you come up with like the original idea for the whole project?
it's in our brains.
It was just something that me and Heidi and Glenn Ridd, we sat down and kind of figured out what we wanted, and then like I said, we kind of all figured out kind of close to what we wanted, and then Anthony did the drawing first, and then Glenn Ridd
He refined it
kind of refined it the way we wanted it, and
in
then,
a 30-minute sketch that I got for free instead of paying for rendering. And it was better. It was more what I was thinking. It's really hard to express yourself when it's something completely never done before. Yeah, that's yeah.
and it makes me proud to be able to do something like this. It's been a lot of fun to do it, and all the support that people have given us, and all the people that have came forward and helped us, and all of our sponsors. I want to thank them too.
Yeah,
but it was pretty cool because to take something from paper that you're trying to explain to somebody in your head, and you got 3 people that you're trying to run that around with, and Glenn Ridd nailed it. He drew it like she says in 30 minutes. He was like, there you go.
Yeah, and
drew
he
it out and
hadn't
sent it to
even
us,
seen the other pictures. We just kind of told him this, that, and the other thing, and
we didn't have anything started. We didn't have no shapes, no nothing. I mean, we just kind of told him what we wanted,
Yeah. Well, you had kind of drawn it out, and then with the road graphic that we use on the T-shirts, and most of it's on our Facebook for our cover photo. That's from Drive Magazine. Put that when our first article in Drive, it kind of goes across the article, and then he mocked it up for me for T-shirts and everything. So that's what we have on that. And actually, we're getting new cups made because
Yeah.
I like merch. It's fun. And in fact, my daughters don't really realize that anybody even knows who we are. And my oldest daughter goes to college in Duluth, Minnesota. She's like, Mom, I saw somebody wearing one of your sweatshirts. Yeah, honey. There's a few out there.
This is how I did mine. I had some shirts made, and we switched platform from our first one, so it had their information on it. So I gave it away at the mission. So I see my shirts all over the place running.
Sweet.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, it's interesting when you see your stuff out there. You're just not used to it. Yeah. A lot of people we know here. But when we were designing the car, he had already started a boat tail speedster. And in this build off drive off, you're supposed to start a fresh project.
January 1st.
Yeah. So what we did was we just scrapped that.
No, we didn't scrap it.
We didn't scrap it. It's still here. We just decided not to build that car because it was already built. Or not even built. It's not even.
It's kind of like mocked up right now,
There's about 4 pieces of metal on it. It's not done. And we decided not to build that and build this one instead. And that was, we could have probably built it, but we were under the impression that you were supposed to start from nothing. But some of the other people, they've built the cars before, they took them apart and rebuilt them.
Oh, yeah.
They did different things, yes.
Which I wasn't too happy about because I could have built that boat tail speedster and been tickled. But like I told her, we'll get this car finished and then I'll build that one for myself. Something to buzz around in.
It's not a bad thing because they're definitely changing the cars. I mean, they're not building the same car. They're just it's already been on the road and they're putting all kinds of different. They're doing different engines and different running gear, everything. It's just different than what we did. We took it like as the gospel. You're building a new car,
Yeah, you guys decided to build one from scratch.
Yeah, that's never been seen before. And so did another guy, Sean Puz, and he's the one who built the one that won the actual build-off portion.
And the Excalibur that he built it's radical. Yeah. It's really cool.
Did you guys in the Durali booth last year? There was a bare metal car that was
with a big blown LS in it. It looked like a Hemi.
Yeah, it was radical.
And it had like a
really
all bare metal with a bare metal wing and stuff on the back.
Because he built that.
That's Sean Puz built that last year. Or
Yeah.
Oh,
last year?
No, 2019.
Yeah, 2019. So
Yeah, there
you go. That's Glenn Rid drew that drawing for us and everything. So yeah.
Yep, he's drew it really quick.
And he literally
Very
did that
quickly.
like
30 minutes.
30 minutes and sent
On
it
his
back.
lunch
He
break.
goes, "How about this?" And I was like, "Oh, done. There you go."
Yeah, and now we've even taken note, so we don't have those taillights. The rear end is different. There's a lot of stuff different. The front's pretty similar.
But I had this when we were doing the car, like the drawing, and then when I got these pieces of metal laid on the back, I was like, "This is more kind of like what I was talking about." And she was fighting me tooth and nail,
Oh,
but
I was.
I just let it go. I spot welded them on there, had them just kind of laid on there and clamped and whatever. And a couple weeks goes by, and she's like, "It's kind of grown on me a little bit." And I'm like, "I know, just leave it be."
couple more days.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like another week goes by, and she's like, "Oh damn, you win, weld it up."
It hasn't even. We haven't quite made it my idea yet, but that's my role. I decided it's my idea.
It's coming.
We've had big arguments, but we've never not fist fought yet because I'd probably get my ass kicked. So.
One of the trickier things has been figuring out where we want the taillights, because we don't, that big sloping back end, we do not want to mess with that. So we're going to actually tuck them underneath the tail.
Well, so
I was actually just going to suggest that, like something real slim and out of sight.
On a shed, like on those on pickups, so the under taillight.
Yeah.
those
LED.
Just a thin bar.
Yeah,
That
and
would
then
look sweet.
right in the back window, we're gonna put a third
taillight,
brake light in
or
there
third
too.
brake
So
light, yeah.
right above the, I don't know if we're gonna go above or below the license plate. It's sunk into the back of the car. We're gonna put a camera,
A backup camera.
and then the license plate flips down, and then there's there will be the little button that you push and you unscrew, and you can put the gas in underneath the license plate or whatever. But it'll be all
Like
flush
on the
fit.
77 Oldsmobile.
Yeah.
And then if you weren't smart enough, you get your hand smashed. Yeah.
Yep.
I know
Exactly.
that from experience.
So who are you, Tyler? Because I mean, I recognize you from somewhere, and I don't know what it is.
I have one of those faces.
The post office. You seen them on the post office wall.
Yeah.
Post office, certain nefarious websites that you shouldn't be searching if you're on a family computer.
That's what's wrong with my computer.
No, I run a shop here in town. I've been on Lewis's program before.
What's the name of your shop?
What's that?
What's the name of your shop?
Long Shot Performance.
Cool.
Cool. You got Instagram and YouTube and all that good stuff?
I'm working on building a YouTube channel. The problem is I'm mostly a one-man show, and there's 12 hours a day being a mechanic, 12 hours a day being a foreman, and 12 hours a day being a salesman. Doesn't leave me a whole lot of time in the day to be a videographer and an editor.
I throw that, just like put up a camera and start talking to it and put it on YouTube. Don't mess with it. Just
Pretty much, yeah. I've got a tripod, and we're actually standing in front of my filming bench right now.
yeah,
So I'm gonna start by doing. I would like to do like little how-to videos. Like I'm rebuilding a fuel pump canister for an EFI car right now, stuff like that.
Yeah.
we know this guy. We don't know where he's at today. He does. But it's honestly, you'd be surprised at what you take for granted that that other people do not know.
Right.
Super simple stuff that there's so much wealth of information that people have no clue.
Well, that's kind of how we started. I had a YouTube channel, and I did a lot of bushcrafting and survival and like camping, hiking, that kind of crap. And it never really took off or nothing, and which was fine with me. I was like, I'm just having fun on the weekends and just hanging out. And then started doing a little bit of metal shaping and stuff, and the channel just went stupid crazy. And she's like, well, it's because people want to learn how to do things. They go on YouTube to look up how to do things and whatever.
It's like alchemy. It's amazing to people. They don't understand how it works. And so if you can give people a little bit of a glimpse into that mysterious, wow, they just made that metal go around in a circle. It's it is really fascinating to people. And what's more fun is to teach people and watch them learn, and the look on their face blows your mind. You're like, oh, that's so cute.
Oh yeah, I've always thought like my ideal like semi-retirement job would be some kind of instructor or something like that.
Oh yeah,
I love teaching people.
Yeah, it's really awesome. I love it. But our YouTube channel, we just shoot and we don't edit. We throw them up there. We might do one of them today because there's a lot of swearing.
What number are you up to?
27,000.
Yeah.
27,000.
Yeah.
And last March we were at 2,500.
Oh,
So
wow.
what?
Wow.
Yeah, Rogue has pretty much, and then the metal shaping. It's metal shaping that they love, and apparently blowing magnets off with air.
Yeah, that was crazy.
3 weeks ago, we put up a video of him blowing magnets off with air because he'd never tried it, and some of our subscribers said, "Hey, do it this way," and he's like, "I'll try."
Well, I was getting sick of I'm grinding and welding and stuff, and all my welding magnets. I quit using them because they were all full of they had hair, like beards,
Yeah.
And so I was picking them off and trying to wipe them off.
And swearing a lot.
And a couple of my YouTube buddies were like, just blow them off with air. It works really good.
And the look on his face is like, yeah, that's
I'm
gonna work.
whatever.
There was another tip I saw on a welding site I watched, and the guy addressed that problem, but he used like a cling wrap and just put it over the magnet, and then all the shavings are on that cling wrap, and when you take that off over the garbage pail, boom, just pops off.
A lot of people have been telling us about doing that,
Yeah.
Some of them use Ziploc bags. They put them on the magnets, and then when they're done using them, they throw the Ziploc bag away. And I mean, I'm like, I didn't know welding magnets were such a big thing,
Yeah. I mean, I looked it up. It's like this, and it's the simplest thing. We all use them, and then we all get beards on our magnets. So,
right?
I use duct tape.
Yeah, that'll do it too. Sure.
Your toy?
No.
Okay.
I just got
100. Once you talk about one thing, one way to do it, you could think of like 100 more.
Yeah.
But until what happens, you're like, gosh, shit. Freaking hair on a magnet.
Well, and sometimes it's the most simple thing, and you just realize there's no video for it. Nobody has showed how to do it, and so why not just show it? And I don't think there's 100 of them. Somebody might like the way you explain it better.
Well, that's kind of how, like I said a while back, I was doing bushcrafting and knife reviews and whatever on YouTube, and I put up my first review on a cold steel Finhawk knife, and I looked around, and it was the only one on YouTube that was ever put up.
And
It just
there's more.
A whole bunch of hits, and I was like, "Holy crap, that's pretty cool,"
Yeah,
and then after that, a whole bunch of them came up, and people started doing reviews on those. But you never know until you just try it,
And it's actually really fun because we don't stress out about it. I think, and we don't do big productions. We just shoot the videos and load them.
Yeah.
And it goes ding, 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 and sends it. That's it. And we shoot them with this phone. We have a bunch of cameras and stuff because I'm a photographer, but we just really haven't gotten comfortable with them yet.
What is the name of your YouTube channel? How can people find you?
Outlaw Edge.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
Outlaw Edge, yeah.
Yep. Keeping that simple too.
Also, you hear Minnesota Outlaw Customs, and then the YouTube channel is Outlaw Edge. So
yeah, and I had a marketing lady say that we needed to put everything under one heading, and I'm like, I think we're good. We're just gonna let her buck.
No, it's been fun though. It's been a lot of fun, and it's something that I enjoy doing, throughout the day. And like one of you guys were just saying, like you could be doing something. I think it was Ray that said it, and you could figure out another way to do things. So you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. I should share that. And once you share it, sometimes you're thinking this is really stupid, but I'm going to share it anyways just to share it. And all of a sudden, boom, it just gets a bazillion hits, and you're like, damn, that's pretty cool,
So I made him.
There you go. I just subscrired.
Me too.
Appreciate that,
I
Ray.
just made him do a video the other day because I got my daughter's tennis shoes in the mail because she plays basketball, and her shoes had the dang security lock on.
There it is. I see the video.
Yeah, and then I'm looking online for a video for this, and there's a couple videos, but they're not the same type of lock.
I need to tell you something. My daughter, the same thing happened a couple of years ago. My daughter came home and had the tag, and she had like 2 or 3 of them, and I was like, all right, let me figure this out. And I played with it and went to YouTube, and I had figured out how to get 3 of them off. And thankfully, there was something on YouTube. And I said, otherwise, you would never know what to do. Those things, they're diabolical. They really
are.
What's the on right there?
That's ours. Some people have a what it's called, like dark. What you call it?
It's the dark layout.
Yeah, the dark layout. They have that. That's us. But anyways, yeah, so there was one video of a lock like the one that was on her shoes, and you couldn't even see what the guy was doing. You could see the bottom of the shoe and most of his desk. And then he's sawing it with a hacksaw blade at his computer. And I'm like, oh, I can do better than this.
Anybody can do that.
I was so scared that it was going to like blow ink all over these brand new shoes. I was freaking out. And he put his hand in front of the camera so nobody got to see that nothing happened. It just opened him up. But yeah, you just don't know until, like you said, till you go on YouTube and you look, because there's been studies now that YouTube is the preferred search engine. You'll go into Google, but the first thing you click is that YouTube video because 90% of us are visual learners.
Yeah, that's our
and there was one of those security tags that you had to use a strong magnet.
It's Outlaw Edge. Yeah, that's kind of our business one that we don't use.
Yeah, that hasn't had no videos on it in forever. So
yeah. So
Okay.
Go Outlaw Edge, and then it'll be like a brown background. I should probably change that.
Yeah, that one needs to be taken down. It's kind of dumb. So
I can put it to private.
Yeah.
It does have the drag engine running though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. I have this. I got a Roadster that it's
It
a
was just in
29.
the picture.
Oh yeah, the one that was just in the picture there. I got a 29 Chevy Roadster that I dragged out of the river, and I brought it home, and it was all in pieces. It was right out of the river and everything, and I had a whole bunch of other pieces.
Skipping and going, I got a 29 Roadster.
So we built this thing real quick, and it's a rat, and we drive it around all over the place.
Yeah,
and
she's awesome.
I blew up the motor one time, and my dad has this little 327. It's got like 650 horses. The thing's
Ridiculous.
insane.
And our car weighs 1,200 pounds.
And so we blew up the motor, and my dad's like, "Well, pull that motor out. Let's drop that other one in there real quick." We dropped that thing in there. I drove around the block. I come back. I'm pulling the motor out. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh hell no! This is stupid."
He was sitting at the stop sign, lurching forward.
Yeah, it was
that's
nuts.
it. That's the one.
There you go.
Yeah, that's our little.
Me with the dumb look on my face.
I know. I thought that was great with the car hanging on you. Sometimes I do evil thumbnails. Yeah. Well, even like we did that video just the other day of you doing that bracket because
Yeah.
I was like, what are you doing? Our faces and yeah, it's fun. Oh, look, I'm welding.
Yeah, that was a fun day.
Not a hint of sarcasm.
I'm always
Not a-
fun. Shut up.
Yeah, there's days where we can like just beat the hell out of each other in the shop. So,
And then he tells me I'm right, and then we move on.
and then she'll be yelling at me, jackass, and I'll be like, bitch, and then she'll come back in. She'll be like, hey, you know that bracket? And I'm like, I know, I'm gonna weld it right here. And blah blah blah.
It's like every creative couple. What is it? Siegfried and Roy. Maybe that's who we are. You
No,
get to be-
fire and gasoline. That's what I always say.
Yeah, for sure. I want to be Siegfried and Roy. They've got like, do they have tires?
So, Tyler, what projects you got for yourself going on?
Well, I got a couple things. I got the right here, the computer sitting on them. I got the pistons for the G8 are here. The crank is being balanced. That should be we're shooting for 900 of the wheels with that one.
Damn.
Dang.
So it'll be a 408 LS, 10.5 to 1 compression, a John Bewley custom camshaft, and F1A Pro Charger. So that's my summer
do all
daily
your
/ shop car.
You do all your own motor work and all that though?
All the assembly, yeah. I don't have all the equipment to do machine work on motors and stuff.
Yeah.
All I have is a basic mill and lathe here, but yeah, I do all the assembly work myself.
And what state or country you in?
He's in.
I am in the country of the United States of America and the great state of Ohio.
All right.
We just went through.
What part of Ohio?
Northeast corner. I actually live just like 5 minutes from Lewis.
Yeah, Youngstown, baby.
Jeez.
Oh, right on. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Hell
We
yeah.
almost live in Canada.
Yeah.
We can swim there when we need to.
Now,
I've
Bristol,
spent several years living in Minneapolis, so
Oh yeah.
I've been up by you guys a few times.
That is we're just south of International Falls. So if you're like keep going north until you can't go north, then back up 28 miles.
back up, man. So
Cold up there.
me and Tyler are in the same car club.
Oh,
And when I tell you that these dudes are not playing, everybody's over 500 horses except me.
well, you're gonna have to fix that when you
Yeah.
put roof on your Cadillac.
Change that because
Yeah, I'm coming, but man, these dudes ain't playing around.
That's
So
I have good horsepower today.
I have one project that I'm kind of excited to get started on, and I really want to do a lot of YouTube videos on it. But I don't know if you guys are familiar with the late 90s, early 2000s Grand Prix.
oh yeah.
Sweet.
So I have this is a Daytona pace car. This is actually my I guess you'd call it like show car. I did a lot of work under the hood and stuff.
Damn.
But I have
Man, the
another
motor's
one.
sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are front wheel drive from the factory.
Yep.
This one's converted to a manual transmission, and I fully shaved the engine bay and wire tucked it and everything. But I have another one outside. They only made 1,500 of the Daytona pace car edition, and that one is actually going to be getting a pair of these under
There
the
you
back,
go.
Awesome. That's
and a tubular front end and a tubular back half.
And that's going to be on the front?
Friend.
No, they'll be on the
And
back.
those are going to be on the front, right?
back.
I won't tell my mom because she has a 2006 Grand Prix and she freaking loves this car. And she's 80 years old and my mom's car has a supercharger. It's awesome. Yeah, gets it. She's like,
Yeah, so when I get around to doing the videos on that Daytona, I want to convert to rear wheel drive. It's going to be a twin turbo LS, all that stuff. I want it to be like a show drag car.
right. That would be amazing to watch you do that.
Well, remember that? Do you remember Rick Doberton with that Pontiac J2000 back in the 80s or what was it, 80?
Yeah, with the body that tilted up.
Yeah, that thing was insane,
Yeah,
man.
that was
Just,
what was it? Was it a Pontiac 6000 or something like that?
Pontiac J2000, yeah.
J2000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rick Doberton, that guy, man, his work was insane. Like,
Yeah.
you're saying, though, to have something like that that's a show drag car would be fun, Something
Right.
you can toss around on the wood, on the street and then just tear it up and then go home and
Yeah, exactly.
I'd break it, though.
6000 was a yellow car, right? It was yellow with angular
A
stripes.
lot of crazy graphic stripes on the side.
Kind of like John's car.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Is
That car had a stainless steel frame.
Yeah.
It was a groundbreaking car. I mean, it hit all the magazines. That ton of publicity.
You couldn't do anything with it. It was rolling artwork.
Yeah.
But it was resembled like a pro stock pro mod chassis. It was all made out of stainless steel, and he polished every weld.
All of it. Yeah, it was nuts.
That thing was crazy, I mean,
Yeah, he blended all the welds, didn't he?
yeah, he blended it all and polished the whole cage and frame. It was all polished stainless steel. It had to be like thousands of hours just in that. But
I bet that guy had a month just in all the nitrous lines and all the things that he had on the blower. It was just nuts.
I've spoken to him a few times. Pretty crazy stuff. I respect him for what he does because it's mechanical art.
Yeah.
But I'm not into something that you can't do anything with.
Yep. Yeah, and that would be the goal for that car when I get it done. Is I want it to be street licensable,
Right.
and able to drive from the shop down to the parking lot meet, and then do a hit on the highway on the way back to the shop. That kind of thing.
You're like me.
Mm-hmm.
It's if I'm building a car, I got to be able to do something with it.
Yeah, that's like with my G8. I was just talking to somebody today about my fuel system, and we were going over options, what makes the most sense, because I need to be able to support 900 wheel horsepower on E85. And he said, well, do you put a lot of miles on your car? I said, I put 13,000 on it last year, and it was only running for 5 months.
Yeah, you roll.
Yeah.
There you go. It's awesome.
Speaking of the fuel system.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Yeah, so we're gonna get Terry down here, and we're gonna do some videos over at Tyler's place.
Yep. Give you a quick overview here.
Oh, nice.
We
Holy
got a whole bunch of open hoods there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we try to stay busy.
Is that how you count them?
Yeah,
One
pretty much.
Two open.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
If the hood is closed, it means it's either a new arrival or they're ready to go home.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Now Tyler just redid the whole shop, man. He did a really great job, man. It was rough in there, man. He redid the floors, the walls, the ceilings, everything.
Yep. And I did it all with an eye towards being like real nice and presentable too, because I knew I wanted to work on producing videos in here. So
Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Ours is like it's like a grungy old hot rod shop. That's the direction we wanted to go. So
Yep.
tin on the walls and
yeah, you should have seen that place when we got it. Holy crap, it was a wreck.
yeah, they had done diesel mechanics in there. So
Oh boy.
That's the way the other side of my shop is. I call it the dungeon.
How big is your shop?
I'm gonna get Clark.
I got about 7,000 square feet. The main section of the shop here is 60 by 45. And then I got another section of the shop over there where I do all my machine work and grinding and welding and all the dirty stuff. And that's 25 by 75.
Wow.
That's a nice size shop.
Yeah,
it's big.
it's worked out pretty well for me so far.
And it's just you by yourself?
Pretty much, yeah, for the most part. I have my buddy Brandon. He's also in the local car club with me. He helps me in the evenings. He's got a day job as a Ford technician. And then a couple other friends of mine that are mechanically talented that come in and help out when I need some extra help. But for the most part, it's just me. And then a couple days a week, my dad's here doing office work.
Yeah. He stays busy.
Awesome.
Yeah, I definitely put in the hours. That's how people know me. They drive by and they say, "Oh, he's still there."
he still made it. He's still making it.
I think the problem with ours is that everybody wants to stop and look at it and walk around in there and look at all the junk and talk about stuff. And I'm like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Or
I
grab a
deliberately
wrench.
did not put a sign out front. I have a little sign on the door above my address, and that's it. So I always figure if you have a reason to be here, you know where it's at.
Yep.
That's it.
It's funny because we actually locked the door now, and it's been going on for a while, where we've had the door locked, and people will come over there, and you'll hear them knock on the door, and you'll look up, and then you just go back to doing what you're doing, and then pretty soon they're knocking on the window, they're waving, and then like if you're welding or something, I'll just look up and wave and keep welding.
Yeah, it's sometimes I feel like I should have like a no loitering sign up somewhere, because people do stop by and kind of shoot the breeze or whatever. But sometimes it's also a welcome break because I pretty much work from 9 a.m. until midnight or 1 a.m. So the shop is my wife.
It gets aggravating sometimes, though. Especially when you're trying to get something done that you want to get out of there,
Yeah, for sure. That happens a lot.
Well, fellas, it is 10:19, and it's time for Daddy to go to sleep.
You need your beauty sleep.
Yeah, I need a whole bunch of it.
Where's Terry anyway? He missed the whole show.
I don't know. He sure didn't show up. I'm going to have to holler at him.
I had to go through 3 different computers and update Windows on this one so I could be here. What's his excuse?
Yeah, he didn't even show up. He'll be here next week when Gene comes on.
Isn't that the thing is saying I walked uphill in the snow and barefooted and blah blah blah?
Yeah, both ways.
Both ways.
Yeah.
That's it. We all used to do that when you live in New York. You got to walk uphill in the snow
Oh,
to
yeah.
the school, both ways.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
Well,
hey, tell everybody about Gene. I'll have the graphics out probably next. What's today? Thursday?
yeah.
Probably Saturday. Saturday I'll have the graphics up so if everybody can share it. that Gene Winfield will be here live.
Cool.
And they're going to do it from his shop. So we'll see some of his cars that they're working on right now.
Hell yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Awesome right there.
Yeah. All right, people, I appreciate you. And
Thank you so much.
yeah, man, anytime, come through.
It's a pleasure talking to you.
Yes, sir. Tyler, I'll be over. I'll have you probably Saturday or Sunday. I'll have it ready for you.
Okay. Well, you know where to find me.
Yep.
Good night, you guys.
All right. See you guys
See ya.
next week. Thanks.
See you around.
Yes, sir. So, Tyler, tell Brian your dirty little tool secret before we get kicked off.
Already know.
We already talked about it. Yeah, you didn't see the hat I was wearing earlier.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all right. It's not his fault. He works for the Dirty Bird.
Oh,
Oh.
man. Well,
Oh.
okay. Actually, I would have been a Snap-on guy. I just didn't like their format.
Yeah. Well, was that long enough ago that you would have been like an actual authorized dealer instead of a franchise?
Right. And
Yeah.
And that it just those numbers. I mean, that whole thing was so scary. And
Yeah.
like I said, a lot of guys that I know, they just get crammed with so much stuff. And like I said, at least with I don't have to pay for anything with Matco. I mean, I don't pay any advertising, pamphlets. I don't have to, if I don't want to order anything, I don't have to order anything. It's not like I have these, so that was a really big thing.
I'm seeing some two-for deals all of a sudden now this month. What's going on?
Do what?
There's some two-for deals going on. Buy this, get that free.
Yeah, we run through them about every quarter. We have that stuff. We have die grinders.
There was one
and the sockets. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's I wish we had a better marketing department, but we've talked about that a dozen times.
Yeah.
It's hot 1 minute and then it's kind of tapers off. It's like they got to catch their breath or something.
They do hit Twitter and Instagram. I mean, they're hitting it sometimes, a couple times a day. So they are. It seems like they have been increasing it, which is good. Yeah,
well, the internet, unfortunately, is such a fine line. When we signed the franchise, we can't sell outside. We're not supposed to do that, but they want us to advertise on this, and it kind of makes a really big gray area.
Yeah,
kind of touchy. And then, of course, you overstep it, you get your PP slapped. Then you're a troublemaker. So you can't win. I kind of just say, hey, we got to keep this on the down low or whatever, because somebody gets a little sand in their vagina and it's all.
Yep. Yeah, that's I only lasted about 3 years, and I just couldn't take the stress of it. So.
Yeah, I mean it's stressful. I mean, it has its moment. It's got some of its. I mean, it has some great moments, and it's got some real shitty moments.
Right.
You get some laughs. You get some laughs out of it too.
Hey, I tell you, some of the stuff. It's like how you love sausage, but you don't want to see it being made. Man, I see some scary shit, and I'm surprised people still have all fingers and the building still standing. So
yeah, true.
I mean, it's crazy.
I just had sausage last night.
Yeah, so
good sausage too. It's a mix of the hot stuff and the mild.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
With nice raviolis, cheese raviolis,
sweet.
Nice.
Sweet.
I had a guy today. He said that his OBD2 connector didn't hold memory.
Really?
It won't hold memory. And I was like, okay, well, where are you plugging it into? And he said, well, I'm plugging it into the cigarette lighter.
No.
You dumbass, you disconnect the battery from the cigarette. You got to go in the jump box.
Right.
It's just like working on shit. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the guy that used the wrench laying on the ground as a ground strap for his test light and wonder why it didn't work. It's hooked to metal. That's what he
It was
told me.
laid on the ground. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
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 Or the guy who brings you a ratchet to rebuild and says, this thing's junk. And you take it apart, and here he was probably tightening down a battery post and grounded through the gears and fused them together.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Yep.
wow, I never saw that.
I've seen. Yeah.
True.
I've seen that.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
all.
yeah. Oh, my customers had a fun game one day. I come to the shop, and they're all bringing out like 3 and 4 broken screwdrivers. I'm like, okay, I could see a blade. The handles were what were broken.